Hello, everybody, and welcome to DreamLeague Season 13 Group Stage. We got Alliance, we got Virtus.pro. My name is Sunsfan. Joining me is the Cinder Man himself.
Hello, hello.
Hello. How are you?
Hello, I'm good.
Why is it you always laugh when I do an intro? I'm trying to take this seriously. This is a major, for God's sake.
All right, my bad. I'll, yes, please stay on topic. I don't know. There's just something funny about it. How about you? How are you? It's shit o'clock for you. You changed your entire schedule to cast these games.
What time do you think I woke up? So the stream started, or the game started at 5:30 a.m. my time. What time did I wake up?
5:20.
I woke up at 10 p.m.
Oh.
Yeah. Dude, I screwed myself pretty bad on this schedule.
Dude, that's impressive.
10 seconds
So
remaining.
this is a best of three. This is a GSL format. So the winner of this best of three will face IG, who beat Reality Rift, and the loser will face Reality Rift. And of course, if you get top two in this group, you go to the upper bracket of the actual main event. And if you lose or you get bottom two in general, you go to the lower bracket, which is a best of one. What do you think about that, Cinder? I talked about it a bit with Kezu. Players probably aren't big fans, but viewership-wise, it's pretty hype.
It's similar to TI, right? Except TI doesn't use GSL. TI uses big groups, but the first round of lower bracket is best of one at TI as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Personally, for me, I think pretty much every player would like every series to be best of three. But sometimes you have logistics limitations, time limitations, whatever it is, and you can't really do it. Like from a purity perspective of the game, I think the game should have every series be best of 3 or 5. But I understand, like, things have to work, right? And a lot of the time in these tournaments, if there's like a serious tier difference, a best of one in round one of lower bracket can be much more representative than a best of than a best of one in the next round, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, there's more variance or more team skill difference in the first round than in the second round, generally.
I'm going to bring a different perspective here. From a tournament organizer perspective, let's just say you have the time and logistics to do best of three. I would almost prefer a best of one, honestly, just because it's so much more hype. Like, there's so much more involved in terms of, like, the storylines, the viewership. I feel like you can just create better storylines this way. And it's less methodical than a regular best of three. Yes. I mean, it's a big deal.
The system behind it is still the same. Like, you have double a limb, and if it's best of three, you're playing more games to get a similar result. I don't know if it's less hype because they play 3 games. You think it is?
Yes, definitely.
But, okay, what if the series is 1-1? Would you consider the third game as hype as a best of one?
Yes.
Okay, so it's specifically for the purpose of it all coming down to this final game.
Yeah, it's like it's forcing a best of 3 to a game 3. I mean, it's the same thing, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
Dire team pick.
We've got some bans, Shannon, to get through.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
The best hero, in my opinion, probably of the minor, got through, and Alliance first picked it. IO looked extremely good at the minor, and it seems like IO is back to being first pick. I think it's about time. It was not very good for like 2 weeks, so we need IO back on top of the board. This hero competitively is just a beast. Like, I'm thinking back since TI3, where it won 5 games in a row in the finals. Like, it doesn't feel like there's ever been a stretch of more than a couple of months where IO was not a top tier hero. This hero has consistently just been really, really good.
It's one of those heroes. It's just a fine line balancing wise, though, right? Because if it's either complete garbage or really good, there's almost no way to get it right in the middle. It's very difficult.
There was a phase where IO was getting second phase picked, which was interesting to see because that meant that the concept itself was not broken enough to be a first phase hero, but rather something you built around in the later stages of your draft. But yeah, I agree that IO, for the most part, it's because of the concept of the hero. It's kind of a math thing. Whether it's an IO patch or not, it's about the tempo of the game, and it's about how much value sustain and healing has in the current patch. And right now, sustain is extremely good, so IO is extremely good. And on top of that, outposts, bounty runes being strategic objectives, you have relocate. you have more mobility than the enemy team, so you can get advantages.
Hey
In these
guys
fights
watching right now, by the way, if you want to hear Cinder and rant, this is what you tell them. So Cinder, what do you think about Essence Ring on IO?
too.
Are you a fan?
Yeah, that's a good point that should probably be added, because I think part of the reason sustain heroes feel so good is that a lot of the neutral items contribute to sustain, right? There's many neutral items that give a lot of defensive stats. Say Essence Ring on IO is obviously incredible. Craggy Coat. In the tier 2 category, you've got an item, even like Dragon Scale is actually really good on IO, getting armor and regen. And if we're not talking IO specifically, to talk about the other sustain heroes like Omni Knight or Abaddon, it's a similar story, right? Like there's so many neutral items that are really good for these heroes and for just staying alive. And it's like it's a tough balancing act in terms of making the patch seem very flexible in hero picks, because it's a fine line between making heroes too tanky or too fragile, right? If everybody had less health, the hero pool would be completely different. Then you would see way more spell burst. And if everybody was even tankier, you would see ridiculous amounts of sustain. And then these heroes that build damage up over time, like Slark or even Spectre in long fights or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it just seems right now that the stars kind of have aligned for these sustain heroes. And if nothing has changed in the math or the way neutral items work, they're here to stay. But obviously, we're not going to get a patch until the major's over, and I'm just really curious what's going to happen.
I'm very curious as well. Well,
so
Virtus.pro, Omni Knight, Slark, Lich. These are two different regions basically that we were casting. Or not you, but I'm casting. And we're already seeing major differences. The one mainstay, of course, is Virtus.pro. Actually, this is very similar to what we saw. But Alliance, we didn't see any of this from the last region. It's funny to look at like each region and how different they are, because like NA right now, it feels like Ricky is a major hero, and like SCA China not nearly as much. Why do you think that is? Like, is that where this DPC season kind of like comes together, when they're all together in the same term, and then you start to see the melding of metas, so to speak?
Yeah, it's actually pretty common when there's a new major patch like this where things get shook up a lot, that the regions develop their internal metas with different ideas, and then once they face each other on the big stage, you see who had the better plan. And people start stealing or losing faith in their own strategies. And yeah, Ricky is good in NA because it's NA, right? Yeah.
Dude, Ricky is legit right now. I just have to say
I've been playing a bit against Ricky, and he's actually, I'm starting to slowly be won over. I thought the hero would not be good, but the more I play against it and the more I see it, the more I'm convinced that there are ways of making this hero work. So in this strategy, I wouldn't say so. I don't think we're going to see it picked for either team now. Alliance have gone for a strategy where Gyrocopter is the centerpiece. He is both Treant and IO protecting him. They need some disable to allow him to do the damage. Puck would be the perfect choice here, but it's obviously first phase banned. Let's see what else they get. Doom, that's a little bit of control. It's not great. I reckon the last pick for Limp will still do some sort of controlling. And as far as VP goes, it's tried and true for this patch. 2 sustain heroes in Lich and Omni Knight. Slark has his own self-sustain by regenning and Fog, stealing stats over time, ramping him up in the longer fights. And yeah, I would say no really big surprises here in terms of the tiering of supports as well, right? This is kind of stuff we just saw at the minor. Yeah. IO was top tier, Lich was top tier, Omni Knight and Treant were top tier. So I was curious to see at this major how much would change from the minor, because sometimes the minor looks completely different to the major. It's like the teams who are qualified for the major are watching the minor, they're like, why are you guys not picking these 3 broken heroes? And then they get to the major and they get crushed. But it seems to be a relatively clear consensus that this is good right now.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of a cool draft from VP, though, because they picked this Bat Rider knowing that obviously they banned the LC. They've picked the Omni Knight, and Abaddon isn't really that great this game because you have a Slark already that can just feed off of that tankiness. So it feels like pretty, other than Treant, I guess, can be considered a counter of sorts. But what do you think Alliance is looking for as the mid laner?
I'm trying to think of Limp's hero pool. I still think you ideally want a little bit extra control. It doesn't need to be super control-y like the Puck I mentioned before, but just some sort of stun catch or at least slow. Tell me.
This is a Bloodseeker game, 100% for Alliance.
That's a
This is
pseudo control.
really
I
good
could dig
Bloodseeker
that.
game.
It's a bit dangerous to pick into unknown matchup, because the last pick will be no one's here.
True.
I'm assuming Epileptic Kid will play Slark, and the Batrider will be played by Save, and then the Omni Knight's probably Resolution. So you need to be a little bit careful with picking heroes that are too exploitable in mid. They're going to ban Kunkka. That would have been actually a decent pick for Alliance too, I think. To an extent, at least. That could have been interesting. No Kunkka. An alternate approach is you look at VP's lineup and you see somewhat of a damage issue, I would say. Batrider Lich can do really good damage in the right setup, but not guaranteed. Slark needs time to build up, and Omni Knight is not really a high damage hero. He's more of a supportish offlaner or an enabler. So you could go Huskar, I think.
Ooh, I like me
for
some
Alliance, and maybe get away with that. You have an IO and Treant to back him up.
Okay.
They're gonna go for Windranger though.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen Limp play this hero ever. That's got to be a new Alliance special. I'm curious.
I'm looking at their...
You could have given me a list of 20 heroes, of which Windrunner was one of them, and I
Right.
would have probably picked it as one of the lowest chance ones for him. So
I'm
that's
looking at
very
the games that they've played on this patch officially, and not one game on Windrunner. So this will be the first of this patch. We'll see how it works out for them. What do you think of Windrunner as just a hero in this lineup?
It's okay, right? It's a little bit of catch, like I was asking. It has a stun so that they can shackle shot relocate. It's one of the heroes that deals relatively well with Slark, because you can, even if you can't get away from Pounce, you can at least avoid all his attacks until he has MKB. Just overall general mobility is good against Batrider. So it's all right. It kind of feels like almost a, how to say, it's like this is what's left pick, basically. I don't think this is what Alliance's top tier mid hero is, but they didn't feel like they had many good options, I'm guessing. So they were like, we need some open-ended mid hero that doesn't really lose its matchup. We need a little bit of stun, some catch, and some ability. So it kind of checked all the boxes, but it's not... I personally don't think this hero is amazing, I'll be honest. I think it's okay or good in some games, but very rarely really am I like, oh my god, Windrainer's going to own this game.
Well, last pick
on
is
the other
be
side,
Magnus, though.
Yeah, that's a good mag pick, I think. VP have very strong team fight. I think Magnus free farms against Windranger. I feel like these two heroes are just going to push the wave, and Magnus will go jungle. He gives some power to himself and Slark. And
10 seconds remaining.
He's very tanky, and Alliance don't actually have very good single target damage. Windranger helped a little bit, but it takes a long time, and any sort of, like, either Frost Shield or Guardian Angel will just keep Windranger's target alive. I would say based on draft, I'm a very big VP fan in this game. I think they clearly outdrafted Alliance, even though Alliance have IO. So this is a test for me to see how far can IO go. It's been winning so many games. That's the only thing that makes me question myself. I think Batrider is incredible this game. Mag was great. Slark is
great. If they get Essence Ring, will that change your mind?
It will increase their chance of winning. I don't know if it will. If Essence Rings drop, I'm just like, okay, Alliance got this. Because it's obviously not that black and white and that simple. And I know it's a meme, but it's definitely the kind of thing that Alliance will be looking for in this game, is to snowball off of their IO. So get Windranger a good start, find some key picks, and play the map quickly. I don't think slowing down the game favors you, even though you have an IO partner. There's too many problems.
That's a lot of games on Gyrocopter. Holy... Oh, wait. Is that on Gyrocopter? Couldn't tell if that was all-time or not. Either way, that's a lot of games.
How many was it?
It was like 2,500 wins, 1,700 losses.
Okay, then it was not Gyro only.
That's 4,000 games, but that's not enough.
Nobody plays 4,000 games with Gyro.
There's some people out there.
I think Bulldog maybe has 2,000 games on Furion. So
really?
You can imagine what kind of person you need to be to play Gyro.
That's true.
I'm actually
I
going
thought
to
it'd
look
be
it
way
up.
more than that. Goodness.
I'm going to look him up on Dotabuff right now. All right, okay. Admiral Bulldog Dotabuff. Let's see. Let's see his most played heroes. Most played heroes of all time. Lone Druid 756. and Nature's Prophet 520.
This is including pubs and stuff, right?
It's only pubs,
Only pubs. Okay.
I think. So he has... If Bulldog has 750 games on Lone Druid, then nobody in the world has 4,000 games.
Some degenerate out there 100% has that many games on Gyrocopter.
I think I have seen a novelty account. I seem to remember this of somebody with ridiculous amount of game on Slark. Like, completely absurd amount of games on Slark. That might be over 4K, but he's not a pro player. Like, you can't really be a pro player and have thousands of games on the same hero, because then your repertoire isn't big enough.
Right.
And, you know, people were memeing on Bulldog, 2 hero pool or whatever, but his hero pool was not 2. He had his 2 specialty heroes, but he also had like a handful to 2 handfuls other heroes that he played competitively in their games.
2 handfuls, my goodness.
If you're a guy playing 5,000 games of Slark, the rest of your pool is not polished enough for professional play, realistically.
Yeah, that's fair. And of course, every patch changes, so if you're spamming the same hero, very likely, unless it's IO, it's very likely that they will suck at some point in some of these patches. We'll see if IO's reign of dominance continues throughout this series or not. So again, this is the best of 3 for the group stage of the DreamHack Major. Let's see who gets off to a good start here. Nobody wants to deal with Gyrocopter in the early game. Rocket Barrage
I
still
think
a pain.
Solo's actually dead here.
Yeah, he's going to get slowed. Getting completely blocked by Fada, and they're probably going to give this kill to Nico Baby. And indeed they do. I was talking to Kezu about this. What are your thoughts on suiciding for Outpost at 10 minutes? Generally.
On a support?
Any hero, not just support.
On a support, 100% worth it. On one of the 2 richest cores on your team is not worth it, I think. I think even if it's the 3rd richest hero, it's probably worth it. Like, how much experience is it the first Outpost? Is it 150 per hero?
They've changed it several times. No idea.
Yeah, it used to be more. I'm not 100% sure about the number. But I think suiciding one of the 3 lowest value heroes in your team is probably worth it.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Save's going to get 1 courier. Almost had 2, actually, if that other guy came a little bit sooner. And that is the Gyrocopter courier, in fact. So
what is the last time you saw a Bat Rider Lich Omni Knight tri-lane?
It's strange. I
actually don't think I've ever seen this before in my life. In any game, including pubs. I don't think I've seen this hero constantly. I mean...
Ever.
When do these heroes even... Like, okay, so usually, historically, Bat Rider and Omni were both, like, offlane heroes, right? Mm-hmm. So now they're picked in the same game. They have a Lich with them, and it's a tri-lane. Like, there's so many variables here that are very... This is rare. Like, it's even rare to pick Bat with Omni in the first place.
It's true.
So this is a treat. It's always fun to see new things. Alliance's tri-lane has been played hundreds of times. I've seen this a lot. IO Treant Gyro is nothing new.
Yeah, very standard stuff. I mean, based on... forget about how common it... Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, just to finish off on the Outpost thing, you need to remember that suiciding for an Outpost, it depends a little bit on the game state, because... Sometimes people are like, death bad, survive good, right? But if you get ganked by 4 heroes at that outpost, and you got the outpost, chances are whatever else is happening on the map is favoring your team. Because maybe you didn't have 4 heroes take the other outpost. Maybe you only had 1 or 2 there, and the other 2 heroes on your team are jungling or pushing waves. So it's not like that black and white that's dying. Like, if you die to 1 hero and get the outpost, it's way worse than if you die to 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, depends.
We saw Slark get a solo kill. No, yep. I watched the whole thing.
Oh, you caught it. Nice.
Yeah, okay. Of course. I'm amazing, cameraman. How dare you?
This is such a good Slark lane.
Is that... Okay, so that's somewhat normal. I mean, he does have an Orb of Venom, which certainly helps. I mean, he wouldn't have gotten that without it, for sure. Do you go 2 levels of your Essence? Oh, yeah, I was going to say, Essence shift for sure. 2 levels this early. Very strong.
I think you go 1-1-3, and Doom has the limitation in this lane of, unless you get the perfect creep for it, you can't really farm without going in melee range, and Slark will trade you every single time. He is way stronger than you, and once Slark hits level 6, it's kind of done. Like, if Slark is 6 before you, he will just run you down nonstop. You see how Epileptic Kid is playing it right now as well already. 33 will be forced to probably just go and pull the next wave. This is not playable anymore after that first kill.
That's going to be a hard one. Bottom lane, though, we have a little bit of action. Homing Missile does connect on the Bat Rider. Fata on the run, but will heal up thanks to his Leech Seed.
And yet
Hold on,
that's really smart from VP. I think this laning, I like it a lot. If they would have done only 2 heroes bottom with the Abaddon Batrider or Abaddon Lich, or sorry, Omni Lich, I think they would have been bullied by these 3. But just playing the lane 3-on-3 and stabilizing when you know you have a favorable match up top and probably favorable mid or at least a draw, this is progressing your game plan really nicely. Slark is your win condition, and he's having an amazing start. And it doesn't look like anything's going to slow him down, right? Sure, Doom will have some levels, but who's going to kill him?
Do you
Doom
think it's a
doesn't kill
mistake
Slark.
not to put a second hero in that lane now to try to at least slow down the Slark?
I don't
Is
know
it really
who you would
necessary
put
to have
there.
3 in this bot lane?
Yeah, well, who would you put, though? If you put the Treant up there and VP bring another hero as well,
Yeah.
that dual lane top gets crushed. And if you put Io there, I think you lose your bottom lane too hard. As Treant Gyro, you can't play against Batrider. That's
What if
kind
you
of the
just
beauty
switch
of
your
having this
tri-lane?
hero as a form.
Just flip-flop it and force Slark to move at least.
VP will just TP their heroes around them. Right? If you're full lane swapping, VP will do the same, and then Slark will play against Doom bottom, and it's the same story.
But isn't that a little easier for Doom at least in this lane versus the other one?
Arguably, in a way it's harder because then he
Really?
can't cut the wave.
Oh, that's true.
In his own
yeah.
safe lane, he can't cut. At least in the off lane, he can. Resolution's dying here, I
Resolution.
think. Oh, nice flame break.
Nice flame
Very
break.
good.
Will keep him healthy. So VP will survive yet again in this lane. Bounty runes galore.
Looks like they'll get 3 bounties.
We'll be definitely very happy with that. Fata in the meantime taking Purification to the face. Resolution. Taking more damage from Nico, baby. He's going to continue the chase. Another nice flame break. Keeping him healthy. And it looks like Resolution will live yet again. It's a lot of pressure coming out from Alliance, but not... I don't know. In terms of CS, what is it? Gyro 20 and 5 right now versus the Slark 36 and 8. I mean, that's obviously not even close.
And in
looking
the
at
meantime,
Resolution,
Magnus is out
24/7.
farming Windranger, and that's Magnus mid right there. He pushes out the wave with max level and power. As soon as it's pushed out, he goes jungle and gets bonus camps with his 2 bracers. Love the play from Limp here, though. He's gonna hopefully skill Focus Fire. He just did. Push out this mid wave, Focus Fire the tower with the Siege Creep. He has a glyph. Nice glyph from VP as well, though. No one's paying attention here. The player. And he's coming back to mid to defend. So... good idea from Limp, but the counterplay was there, and he immediately got dewarded on that ward by Solo. He was ready for that one.
He's going to chase Limp off a little bit. Does have a regen in the bottle right now. No one. RP is available, but he's not going to have any follow-up. But again, Empower level 3, since they buffed this to just essentially be double what it used to be on him himself, completely crazy. It kind of forces you to play him as the core, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's both good and bad, right? Because one of the charming things in Dota is these heroes that can play multiple roles. Like Magnus could play 4, 3, and 2. Now instead he can play 1 and 2. Technically 3 as well. He can technically play all 3 core roles, but I don't think we've seen any offlane mag really. Not much anyway.
Yeah. Well, especially when the Ags was completely broken, you could play him, I think, in any position, honestly. Just get an Ags at any point in the game and it was fine.
Yeah, but if you can play a hero in any position because of its Ags, there is a problem.
Yes,
Okay,
that is a balance problem for sure.
A very glaring issue then.
So is this a successful tri-lane for either side right now? Obviously, like, let's pretend Slark's not in the game because he obviously won his lane really hard. But just from a tri-v-tri perspective, is it about a wash, would you say?
Yeah, it is. It is, and that will always favor the team that has the better 1v1s.
Right.
And that's VP. So they should be very happy right now.
Yeah, gonna get
Doom's
another
dying
kill.
again.
Yeah. As,
Rotation. All they got is Courier.
And now no one could just continue in the jungle. And that's the crazy. It
the
feels
other
almost like
thing
a
is
Shadow
the-
Fiend here.
It's the levels, right? You have a level 4 Gyro. This hero without levels, he needs time, right? Before he's really going to be able to teamfight. On the other side, you have a level 8 Slark. Apparently. He has a level per minute, level 8.5 now. He's going to keep ramping up. The hero is extremely good at farming jungle. And there is a little bit of a problem here for Alliance in how do you make plays? You have Windranger who has Shackle Shot level 1, your Doom lost his lane, and your tri-lane has no lockdown. So you kind of need Relocate, you need a Gyro level 6, and that means the status quo will remain for the next 3 to 4 minutes because Alliance's supports will not get level 6. It's a tri-lane for 8 minutes. They have 1 book only now, not 2.
Yeah, we're seeing
It's
pretty much
it's
the
not gonna
same
work.
aggression over and over in the bot lane. They're not able to actually find a kill because, well, because it's a tri lane, everyone's basically the same level they were a minute ago. It's just rehashed, recycled team fights. And like you said, Slark, level 9.5 right now. Is there a point where he just comes out of this lane and just tries to kill a core on the other team? Or is he just super happy just farming right now?
I think you're very happy farming. Get yourself an amazing game. You know your Magnus is farming. You know your bottom lane is going according to plan. I think what move you make in the game really depends how good your matchups are. If this was a Slark that was having an amazing game right now but gets like hard countered later by enemy cores, then you might want to try to ramp up the tempo. But I don't think you're too concerned. You have really good team fight. You have good late game tools. You have a BKB piercing stun ×2. So you have RP and lasso against this gyro. I don't foresee problems for them in the near future. It's on Alliance to impress with some really good team fight coming up. Maybe the outpost could be a chance.
Yeah, we do have 30 seconds. Well, pretty much every pro game, I know there's a few exceptions. It just feels like a lot more than pub since it's more organized and whatnot. That you just see the original or the trade of outposts at 10 minutes versus somebody actually getting 2.
Yeah. Oh, 33.
Yeah, he might be in some trouble. Epileptic is here, and the pounce will connect. Solo, well, he does
They
get the
forced
Doom
out
off,
the Doom.
but not the greatest.
Oh, he might actually die now.
Okay, power shot will not connect, but oh, he didn't actually connect on that either. And Resolution has come to help out, but it's not enough as Slark will die. So a great gank from Alliance. And again, this is at the 10-minute mark, so they should be able.
Nice power shot.
Goodness, takes
Beautiful.
out the Lich as well, and the Shrine. They got both shrines, Cinderin. That is a huge turnaround.
Damn. Okay, that was a flat-out mega outplay. So VP were not ready for that rotation. The Wind Ranger came with a DD, and so they get this Doom off, and they have the Wind Ranger DG come in. And if Rezo is level 6 there, this whole thing is so different. But we've been talking a lot about Alliance's weakness with this tri-lane of having low levels, but guess what? It goes both ways. And Omni with low levels also not fully able to save the Slark in this instance. So, very nicely done by them.
Yep, Slark now in the bot lane. See if he can actually get it. I mean, he's happy making Gyro move around as well. And no one has the double bracer. Oh, looks like Shackle Shot will connect. Not a whole lot of damage to follow, though. Fata kind of hanging around in the backside. Looking to go into the jungle for now. So double bracer. He's going to be going Echo Saber. So pretty standard overall from Mag players. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, it's
at what point do you get?
Course.
Do you actually? What is the build now after that? Ags is not a thing anymore, right? Is it still just Blink then?
Most of the time it's either Dagger or BKB. But I've also seen builds that go neither and just rush AC, and then you're like this battle tank because you have ridiculous strength gain. You get the attack speed. You have the double hit already, and the minus armor obviously ramps you up really hard. I think in this game, no one is probably getting a Blink. As his next item after this, I reckon they will want to try to fight and set up for Chain Frost with an RP. They're a bit limited on catch because, you know, they have a position 4 bat, but he was in a tri-lane, so his net worth is negligible for a long time. He's not going to set your fights up. So yeah, I would like to see a Blink Dagger. Let's see what his quick buy is soon. He hasn't
no
put
quick
anything in
buy
there just yet.
Yeah, I think he's delivering his Echo Saber right now, though.
Yep.
And that's just going to amplify his farm even more. And things are looking very
it's
good
so
for him.
bizarre looking at the net worths of the teams. Like when you have try versus try, look at the drop off. You know, there's 6 heroes in this game, and there's
the 4
there's
supports
2
are
stewards.
worthless. Yeah, it's rough. It's a rough life. Resolution, trying to defend this tower. Nico Baby and Handskin have other plans, of course. 33 does have Doom available, so we'll see if they end up going for something. No one TPs to the tower, but Alliance is very aware of this, apparently, as they back off. So Limp is... Wait, did he not finish Maelstrom? It's just a casual Javelin into BKB?
Yeah, this is Weeha's default build on Wind Ranger. Let's see if Limp remembers to lock his Javelin. If he doesn't, it makes Maelstrom the BKB.
True. That Mithril Hammer can be a real pesky pile.
He needs to lock the Javelin.
I mean, even if it combines, you'll notice, and then you can disassemble within 5 seconds, right? Oh, we're going to see Focus Fire. Apply to Resolution.
Okay.
It's a good amount of damage, but won't pursue any further.
You don't really feel too happy about it. I mean, it's not that bad. It's not a long cooldown of Focus Fire. It's just Rezo, shrug it off, and he's going to heal up to full anyway, so it kind of did nothing.
Yeah.
But a little bit of pressure at least, I suppose.
It looks like no one will be going for the Blink, by the way.
Yeah, that's good. Now the game is going to stabilize again. Alliance got the top tower. VP will want to try to get this bottom tower, but Treant is just so fucking annoying to push into. He's just going to go in, he's going to cast his Nature's Grasp, and then he's going to go to the trees, and then he's going to do that again for 15 minutes. And it's just annoying, man. Like, what can I say? Fossil is going to do this
10,
over and over again.
It becomes even more annoying, right?
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. So I don't know if VP can really hope to get this tower for a while. They would love to get it so that they can open up a similar part of the map to what Alliance opened up in the top area, but I think you just have to accept right now, settle for it not being a possibility, and as long as you're at least farming your side of the map with Empower, you're probably breaking even. And it's about how much do you trust in your strategy to win later on in the game. First big item timing coming out here. Slark with the 1430 Diffusal Blade after drums. This is a really good timing from Epikid, so let's see if he finds the opening he's looking for. He's going to break.
Smoke is popped.
Perfect
Doom
position
is
for
on
Fossil
the
to be in
low
right
ground.
there. Oh,
He's gonna
Doom with
find.
smoke
They're gonna
too.
find each other. Doom does go. Nope, he actually doesn't get it off in time. Ult from Slark instead keeps him nice and safe. Lich ult into the lasso as well. Batride is gonna be the first to fall. Overgrowth though being used to full effect. That is a second death on the side of VP, and that means everybody else needs to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Not strong
Alliance
enough.
Alliance were ready. They were 5. That was a 5-on-3 fight. VP tried to make an aggressive move, but their Magnus wasn't part of it. He wants to finish
so
his
close to
dagger.
Blink. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I really like that move from VP overall, just because if you're this close to a flat-out key teamfight item, imagine this move with a Magnus in it. That's a totally different story.
Yeah.
He would have got a 2 or 3 man RP. Slark got off a very good Shadow Dance against the Doom, and that fight would have almost played itself. But Alliance showing strength in numbers here, and it's what they've got to do right now. I think if they start splitting, it can get a little awkward. You can try to play the IO like that, but if you already have a tree parked bottom, it feels like you're going to have numbers problems in fights if they don't happen around trees area. So you got to be really careful with what fights you take. But, well, VP are coming to you, so what do you know?
How handy. Starting to see the 15-minute neutral items, which Essence Ring is a possibility, Cinderin, so keep an eye out. Very,
I also has
very
a mech.
important. Pretty good timing on that as well. Treant Protector does get pounced. We'll get off the grasp and actually counter the ward as well, but we'll fall. Essence Ring on the side of Alliance. Can Virtus.pro do anything about that?
Let's look at the win expectancy graph. Oh boy, it went up from 55 to 90. That's rough.
Oh dear.
33 found a
kill.
courier.
Yeah,
Right,
Doom
yeah,
gets
RP that.
RP'd. Lich ult to
Okay,
follow.
he'll die.
All right, they get the kill, and they're probably gonna have to back out with all that expended. But
That was a 1-for-1 trade before with Bat dying top to Focus Fire. But if they manage to get this tower VP, you should be really happy about it. Question is, can they do it? Epikid has ulti.
yeah, Shackle Shot does
Dark
connect,
Knight.
but he's gonna take it off right off the bat. Overgrowth to follow though into a power shot. Slark getting very low. Will pounce out to safety. Should be good to go. Resolution in the meantime. See if he can actually live through this for once. Pops his ult. And that's going to give him a lot of mitigation in terms of physical damage. Vata going to get lassoed now. Can they actually finish him off? They do. And nobody from Alliance wants to pursue this any further. Hanskin's like, Doom, you're dead and you have my item, bro. Where is it? Drop it. Jesus. There. Finally gets
There
delivered.
it is.
Essence Ring.
All right, let's look at the win expectancy. Okay. So, nicely played from VP here. Epikid played that on the limit. Didn't have to ulti. He dark packed the shackle shot and pounced out with 10% HP, regened up in the fog, and then Alliance got a little bit too hungry chasing in. Knowing that they don't have the Doom in this fight, VP feel pretty strong to just turn that around with a GA. So, yeah. It looks like a very even game on the gold. I still favor VP overall just strategically here. I feel like there's a big moment coming up for them based on Bet almost getting a blink, Mag having a blink, and this Slark's ramp up with Empower will naturally just be a problem for Alliance.
Resolution almost has a pipe as well on top of all that, so pretty good timings overall. BKB being built here for 33 is just essentially a recipe away at this point.
Yep. That'll help. That's definitely something that's very good against this Dire lineup. I mean, there's BKB piercing stuns, but you need it anyway. There's too much problem fighting into this Lich, the magic damage of Magnus, Batrider, and Slark. It has enough value that you buy it anyway. And then if you do get lassoed as Doom, hopefully that sets up for your team to come in and get the job done. What you want to avoid is that you have both Doom and Gyro BKB'd and they get RP'd together. That's what you can't afford. And Wind Ranger for that matter. They're all three of them are going BKB as their next item. So very clear communication here. I imagine we're going to see Alliance try to play it a bit slow, get these 3 BKBs, and then they're going to look for a fight all together at the same time.
Yeah, Gyro, of course, finishes the Axe, but BKB is definitely next on the list. And of course, it's not the old IO Gyro. You don't get Axe for free, unfortunately, for him. That was
unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately, IO did get nerfed in some regard.
Oh, IO got Dragon Scale too, Shannon. We talked about this item as well.
Yeah, I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
That's
so this is part of the reason IO is so strong right now is that there's these multiple neutral items that benefit you crazy amount with reload. Oh, hang on.
Relocate. 33 gets the Doom off onto Slark.
That's not a good
Lich
RP.
into an RP as well, but it's only on one hero essentially. And Windrunner, very, very healthy. And it looks like no one is getting the hell out of dodge. Solo is dead. Batrider's dead. It's only the 4 and the 5 though, so it could have been a lot worse. But a lot of things were expended.
They saved Epileptic Kid though. That's the big deal. But yeah, not the best RP. Alliance did a good job spreading out decently in that fight, so they couldn't get caught. But yeah, to finish off on this IO tangent, IO is a hero that doesn't need boots, and it means you have an extra slot for a neutral item. So you can get these, like, he got actually very lucky this game. He got Essence Ring and Dragon Scale, which I would say is 2 of the best he can get. Essence Ring is flat out the best item this hero can get. But yeah, you just have that luxury that other heroes don't of stacking multiple neutral items and just getting a free net worth, basically. Free net worth that doesn't give you net worth. Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Very
33. Tried to jump in, do a little bit of damage to the Infernal Blade, but Slark will shrug it off. You know, a good way to nerf the IO no boots thing is to give everyone a dedicated boot slot in the future. Then IO is not the only one that can do that. Big brain
I think
plays.
the inventory should have more slots. I think 6 slots and a 4 backpack is not enough. I think we need a satchel.
At least
and
be
a
able to
little wallet.
purchase a 7th slot, you know?
Oh, here we go. This could be a big fight. There's no RP.
Solo
Alliance
taking
know
the
this.
brunt of the damage here. Called out not even being
CSO.
expended yet. Homing missile looks like it's going to connect, but really no avail. They do get 1 kill, but not a ton was expended. Doom not going to have his ult for another 40 seconds anyway.
VP are trying to poke and prod to get these towers because they know, or well, rather, they're trying to commit because just playing it very slow, the towers are going to get healed up by living armor. So they're trying to make this fight. I don't really think this fight can ever be successful with RP. So maybe, or without RP, so maybe they were just hoping to force Alliance to at least rotate there so they're not farming the jungle. Yeah, that was not.
Oh, they see a Batrider being TP'd here. Infernal Blade to start this off. No one is going to get overgrowth after the skewer. Batrider is going to be the easy kill here. RP onto 1, and no one getting relocated on now. He is the one that's running. Rocket Barrage doing a ton of damage, and the homing missile will ensure that they do find that kill. So a 2-0 to start this fight. Looks like they will finally get the tree after all said and done. Resolution has to use his ult just to try to get out of dodge, and Slark does get doomed. Looks like he will live to see another day. But still, 2 for 1, and you lose the Magnus, which is the big deal.
Yeah, these RPs are just flat out not good. He ended up solo RPing the train. I think he was maybe hoping to get a perfect RP when the relocate came in, but he doesn't need to rush it that much. Like, the heroes coming in are IO and Gyro. You're not going to get like instant hexed, or it doesn't need to be like frame perfect. Yeah, not the best game I've seen from no one ever. This one.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Solo
Alliance are
tree.
punishing them. Every time there's these moments, they keep ramping up advantage. Gyro keeps winning fight after fight. And based on how the laning stage went, this was not how I thought this would go down, but no shame in saying Alliance has just flat out outplayed them in fights, right? Like
It's interesting though because they have the
making better
blink
moves.
daggers, right? On Virtus.pro,
They
but
do.
they're not really the ones initiating. They're getting initiated on, and then Gyro and Io just relocate in, it feels like.
Yeah,
Every
and,
fight.
and VP are a little bit reliant on
We're
getting
gonna
a
see
better
the lasso
RP.
into a death for Limp, so getting even
Okay.
a little bit here for Virtus.pro. They're going to chase
gonna be
33, who
again,
pops a
CPI.
BKB.
Good
And
damage,
we'll
but
TP
not
out to
enough. So VP are reliant on better RPs than this, and it's not only no one's fault because it's, you know, you need the team to set you up for success, and that requires the right type of engaging where you slowly force the enemy team to help each other, and then when they get even the slightest bit out of position, that's when you jump in and get that multi-hero RP. The Alliance have just done a really good job at spreading their resources out in the fight. Like, there's Doom on one flank, Treant is in the trees somewhere. Io keeps a good distance to Gyro and the tether, so they're hard to RP together. So they've done a great job at that. Looks like VP might be able to get this Roche, though, off that one kill on Limp. Really good decisive move here. And Alliance, they're just going to let it go. They don't feel ready.
Slark
that's a
had a
big
little
moment.
bit in the way of stacks, but does have the Lincoln Sphere now, by the way, so doesn't really have to worry about Doom until Doom inevitably gets the Halberd, which is not queued up at all, actually. It's a little bit surprising. Is somebody else going Halberd? Huh. That's really interesting. Just feel like it's an amazing item against Slark. You can't dispel the disarm at all.
Now that he has
Lincoln's
Lincolns, you
breaker.
could Halberd Doom, yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Maybe they're going to change their minds when they see the Lincoln's complete now. Doesn't seem to be the case for now, though. Plenty of bounty runes up for grabs right now. Alliance are starting to move toward the bottom ones. Looks like Reza will get one here. Taking a risk of just going straight to the enemy outpost, but yep, nobody's there, so he'll get it and run away. A greedy player there would also take the outpost, but he's not that daring.
He is Omni Knight. He could technically live if he wanted. Uh-oh, repair kit. The ultimate high ground defense in the form of neutral items. And also gives you 13 HP regen. How nice.
One of my least favorite items in the game.
I mean, we've talked about this on the podcast. I think
wanna-
that's, if anything's going to get deleted neutral item-wise, that's probably #1 on the list, I think.
Relocate. Alright, Nico just TP'd himself out. A little bit of miscommunication there. Now Io reload back alone. I don't know if VP realized it, though. They did. They did. They're looking for him. They don't know where he reload from, though. They're trying to find the spot.
Right.
Is Hanskin actually just going to TP away now?
All right. He
My
is good
God.
to go.
Didn't realize. Oh
that was
my
close.
goodness. Okay. Yeah, so I think I want to point out tons of these neutral items. Like, whether you dislike the concept of neutral items or entirely, or you dislike the way they work right now or whatever, whether you love them, there are, I think most people can agree that there's a lot of the designs that are awesome. I think that's the thing most people can agree on. Like, tons of creative uses, very interesting concepts in the items themselves. Repair kit for me is just one of the ones that doesn't hit the mark because it's like inherently only good on defense. If you're the winning team and you get this item, you feel like you lost something, you know? You're like, I would have got literally any other item than that.
So you're
and
saying
preferred
they
that.
should up the regen to like 50, right?
Yeah. I mean, the reason the original repair kit didn't even have regen, and I think the reason they put the regen on the item was so that it had an offensive use, so it wasn't just like a dead item that only works when you're losing. But still, like, you compare this item to any other tier 3 item that has stats or some aggressive use, you don't want to get this as the winning team.
All right, what if, Cinderin,
so-
what if you could apply it to heroes and you get basically 2 other heroes attacking with you? You're doing 3 times damage. Would you
Oh,
be
so
happy
you
with
get it
that?
like multi-shot on a hero.
Exactly.
Yeah, that sounds really balanced, Shan. I'm glad you're not making the items.
Yeah, Kezu said the exact same thing. All right, jumping in is Slark. Lincoln's is popped for now. Nico Baby with the Mjolnir is applied. Aghanim doing a lot of damage. Overgrowth keeping people in place. That's 2 dead right off the bat. Bat Rider's going to buy back into the game. But Epileptic is dead with the Aegis. It will be expended. We'll be back shortly. No one still has RP available. Epileptic is forced to use his ult. Homing Missile. He's going to be able to
It's going to be
just
perched
proc
off.
it pretty much right away.
Oh,
And it's a
Alliance
1-for-1
should
with
be
a
happy with
buyback.
that again. You lost an IO and you took
sorry,
2
two-
buybacks and an Aegis.
Yeah.
That's a 3-for-1. That's really great. And for me, it really comes down to can save find an opening. I think this guy is really, really skilled. I have not seen him play much Batrider though, and in this game, I haven't been too impressed overall. He plays a mean Rubik, for example, like extremely good. Batrider, maybe he's played it a couple of times, but it wasn't like, I'm not like, oh yeah, save Batrider, you know. And I need to see those moments where he finds this key lasso to open the fight, because you're playing against relatively, I would say, not very good bat counters. The only thing that's really there is relocate. Outside of that, you can kind of pick your hero you want to catch. There's no save, no heart dispel. So I feel like he could be doing more work in this game.
Shackle connects onto Slark. Do they have any follow-up to stomp into the Doom? And that is a dead Slark, ladies and gentlemen. IO and company are here as well, but it's just for a camp, and it's for the quickening charm that each respective team now has. Hanskin, you know, he's just going to pick it up for himself. Why not?
I want to point out, by the way, in this top fight, did you see how long it took Slark to kill IO?
Yeah, it was quite a while.
This is the strongest carry, or the strongest hero on VP's side. It's a single target carry that deals generally loads of damage over a short amount of time, relatively. It took him 10 seconds to kill IO, because IO had Mech, Essence Ring, bonus armor from Dragon Scale, and I think maybe he even had the Ring of Tarask at that point. Like, this hero is mean when it has these items. Like, it's so difficult for them to deal with. And I was like, I really like VP's draft here. Dude, IO is still just a problem.
They're going to go high ground, Cinder. I think the TP was just canceled on no one by Fata. Save is here with the TP available, but he's going to have to fall back as fast as he can, but damage is being done. And they don't have a repair kit on their side, Cinderin. Oh, no. Lich ult is being expended. BKB's popped galore. They're going to get the tier 3 at the very least, and I believe they're just going to fall back now, but damage has been done. Resolution, tanking it up. He has the spider legs, showing them off in style, but Alliance is just too quick. So Fata essentially just got them a tier 3 tower with that TP cancel. That was really nice. And I'm sure no one is like, why the hell is there a Treant bot lane right now? Jesus.
That's honestly just an awesome read from Fata. It's like, we see it happening and you're like, oh man, he got his TP canceled, but having the foresight to make this play in the game is an entirely different thing than us just watching it. Like, he had the read that if he's down here and Mag goes there and he can cancel the TP, his team can push top at the same time. That was a very high skill coordinated play from Alliance. They're kind of in a position now where I think now you're only losing to RP, I think, at this point. Earlier in the game, there were other problems that could cause you bad fights, like a key lasso or maybe Slark running a bit too rampant with Omni Knight protecting him. But the timing for that, the gap is starting to grow too big. So now you really need to hit that money RP SVP. And statistically in this game, that is not happening. So,
right. I mean, I don't think he's hit more than... He's gotten a ton of solo RPs,
more than one hero.
right? Yeah.
He's only hit one hero. And, you know, it's so easy to be like, wow, shit Mag, you only hit one hero RPs, but it's always... There's always two sides to it, right? It's Alliance doing a really good job at not giving him opportunities.
Yeah, it's not been easy. If it was a Rise, though, let's be real, Cinderin. He would have gotten the
Then
RPs.
he wouldn't be playing this series.
That's a little cruel. No one has to pop the BKB to avoid the shackle shot. And they're just going to take this shrine. And I'm sure Gyre will just go back and farm wherever they came from. And we'll take a neutral camp wave as well. Must be nice.
And you're probably just playing for the next Aegis now as Alliance. You have map control. You got the top tier 3. You took the shrine away. So just keep playing that area. VP are kind of limited to the bottom half of the map. And if you have one ward there that sees some sort of movement, you feel pretty safe. You can see Alliance have one ward around the mid area that sees connections from bottom to top. And they have a similar ward top that oversees the shrine. So they should have some relatively good reads on what is going on.
Something we didn't really talk about is the Paladin Sword on Slark. Not only giving the lifesteal and damage, but the regeneration, I believe, should be amplified from Shadow Dance, right? Which is pretty strong. Yeah. And if you can... The problem is they don't really have great saves for the Doom if he gets doomed, but if he's able to get into fog... Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was. A courier just dropped dead.
This patch, man, there's always just like couriers dying randomly. Like,
well, yeah. That's because there's 10 just running around all over the place. What do you expect? It's like roadkill. We have roadkill in Dota 2 now.
I wonder if the couriers now... let's imagine for a second that the couriers now, it cost you as much to lose it as the old courier as a team.
Right.
But you couldn't just like courier snipe ridiculously with bounty or Furion. I know this is like theoretically impossible, whatever. I wonder how players would use the courier. Because I feel like people just kind of just send it all the time. They're like, oh, my courier died, whatever, you know?
It's
like,
turbo mode, Synderen.
There doesn't seem to be the same mental investment in keeping your pet alive. You know, it's more of a, I'll just buy a new one, you know?
I think it's because players are just trying to show Ice Frog that they want the actual turbo mode couriers.
Oh,
you
got
lasso.
Lasso.
The bash.
Abyssal, though.
Onto Fata. Oh, it is a full abyssal.
Bit of overkill.
Indeed. Lincoln's is popped. Gyro soloing Roche for now. Let's see if VP can actually do anything about this. Floric ready to jump in. He's going to get the bash off again. Treant Protector buys back into the game looking for an overgrowth.
Oh, that's a good RP.
Big RP into the Roche pit. Away from your Slark. That is not the play. BKB's pop galore. And the Slark will die 90 seconds on the deck. Huge miscommunication on VP's side as Nico Baby and company continue to chase down the remnants of VP. Solo will be the first to die, and I believe that should be it. But that's a free Roche now for Alliance.
Dude, you hate to see it, man. You hate to see it.
You can't really blame either player
finally
either.
A great RP. No, it's just one of those moments. Like both of them have the right idea, but they do it at the same time, so they're both wrong. Like it's it's just so exceptionally unfortunate that this exact thing happens, because finally no one gets an awesome 3-man RP. He has the possibility to connect, and then they kind of just split themselves up. And I think the play here is to let Magnus skewer, because if Slark pounces over there, you're 2 on 3, right? You need to kill them in the RP. The rest of your team can't connect with this play because they don't have the reach. So you kind of need to skewer them over so you can fight as a team. And Slark pouncing in just, you know, splits the fight in half, and then it's a loss.
Fata, 4 staffs to high ground. They are just chasing him. Look at how much space he's creating. This top Rax is just going to go down for free. All for a Treant Protector. My goodness. Well, 33 is here as well, and Treant Fata's fine. They're going to get a full Rax with 0 defense at all. I hear a lasso. Where the hell is that? All right, it was on to 33 apparently, but Save will just
tried
die.
to keep himself alive. Didn't manage.
My goodness.
To save himself.
Yes. not too big of a fan.
VP, VP's in trouble. No, it was a pun on his nickname, Shannon. Come on.
I know.
Okay. You're just pretending to be stupid.
Yes. Anytime I sound stupid, Synderen, I'm pretending. It's the true Slack special.
Every time there's a moment like this, I can't help but think of that meme with Herder. I was just pretending. I don't know if you know it. Do you know that one?
Yeah, I know that one. That's
true. Dude, that's you.
Just kidding, idiot. You're the idiot for thinking I'm an idiot.
Be an idiot. Oh well.
Yeah, but they're in trouble for sure.
Alliance are just really in the driver's seat here. Things have not come together for VP in the way they wanted to take fights, and I'm pretty certain if Alliance win this game, we will not be seeing IO next game. And it's not really because IO just dumpstered this game or was the sole reason they won, but VP just seemed to really struggle with finding their footing on the map, because either you 5-man and you find a fight where there's still the relocate threat, or if you spread the map too thin, you can get killed by getting Doom plus reload or Shackle Shot plus reload. So we see the fights that are happening, but all the fights that are not happening are still in the minds of the players, and it makes the map difficult to play. No one's gonna get caught here. He is doomed. No, he's not. Yeah, he is doomed.
Yeah, he is certainly doomed, one way or another. I'm questioning why. Oh, they're actually gonna counterattack him here. They bring him back to the spot lane, but who's really on the offensive? Nico Baby pops the BKB. Io seems impossible to kill, but he has absolutely no mana to speak of, so he'll finally go down. And on Nico Baby, trying to run back to the arms of his comrades in arms.
Got a little bit of stacks on Slack, so
yeah, 16.
See if they can make anything with this. They know IO doesn't have buyback, I think. Or actually, they don't know. I looked at the death timer and I was like, man, did he buy back in the previous fight? He's just level 21.
he's a beast. He is an absolute
It's just his
beast.
Natural death timer right now. It looked like a buyback death timer, but we are actually 38 minutes into the game. It doesn't feel like it's been that long to me, but
hey, it's almost time for the next tier of neutral items, my friend.
Oh yeah, let's look what IO can find. Witless Shaco.
That's an amazing one, right? You don't need that much mana.
What would be the best items for each respective team? I think Witless Shaco is always amazing. This item is incredibly good.
Always some.
There are some heroes in this game. I think Timeless Relic could be really good on Doom. Spell Prism, I think, always has a user. 20 CDR is crazy good.
Is there any good Dispel for Flicker? I think Flicker, we talked about this on our podcast. I think this is one of the strongest items. Just because of the Dispel. It's a 5-second cooldown Dispel and gives passive 30 move speed. That's really good.
At the same time, it's a strange item just because of its unreliability, right? You get Overgrowth and you're like, I'm just going to Flicker, and then you blink into the enemy team. Then, well, did it really help you, right? If you could choose your direction, it would obviously be crazy good. Like, what an item. But it's just... as if it wasn't RNG enough with neutral items, let's make them put you in neutral random directions too.
Yeah, why not? Let's just make them all like that.
It's one of the items that I'm a bit on the fence about just because of its random nature and because of how much it varies in usefulness in the game. I don't think this is a very good Flicker game, personally. Can you Flicker out of Pounce? Then it might be pretty good against Slark.
I don't think so.
It blinks you, so I guess you can't, right? It's a...
Yeah.
Oh, you can't Flicker out of Overgrowth either, right? Because it's a root.
Oh, I didn't... Well, no, so it's a Dispel, though. Dispel will get you out of Overgrowth.
But does it Dispel before the blink or after?
I don't know. Actually, that's true. That might be even better if it dispels and does not blink you, right? That's actually a really good counter. It
dispels, debuffs, and blinks you, but I'm pretty sure I read that it doesn't work against roots at all. Like, you actually can't activate it because it's coded like Blink Dagger.
Ah, I see.
But I'm not 100% sure if that's the case.
So if that's the case, I did not know that. Then that's definitely a lot weaker than I thought because there's a lot of roots in the game just in general.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, if I had the choice in any game and I'm playing, I don't know, I'm just thinking on average, this is one of the items I would like to find the least after the one that Gyro just found in particular. I think Minotaur Horn is... It has games where it can be amazing, but it's again, the likelihood, right? What kind of fight will this do? I think the concept is awesome. I just don't think it should be tier 3.
I think it's
tier 4.
It's better than your... After we talked about it, I was pretty much the same opinion of you that I don't like it, but it is 400 HP at the end of the day for free.
Sure, yeah. The stats are great, right? But the active is very... It's very situational. Sometimes it's awesome and you make sick plays, and the other times it's like, meh. Kind of like Mischief from Monkey King, just because of the short duration, right?
Oh, we're going to see a fight here. Nico Baby getting caught off guard. They're going to go for the IO RP onto 2. Lich ult to follow. IO is donezo. Gyro, in the meantime, does have Satanic, will pop it, but will not live through the day. So that's a great RP this time from no one, 2 for nothing.
They finally found the IO Gyro separated from their team. Just a moment, just a lapse of concentration once for Alliance. Or rather, a good play from VP that finally was rewarded.
Yeah, give them some credit, Cinder, and Jesus.
And now you got to try to ride this momentum, right? You have 2 dead heroes on Alliance's side. You have stacks on Slark. He's level 25. More and more hits on him will just ramp him up further. See Fata here. He should be able to get out, though.
Yeah, no vision here for Epileptic.
And because they're this far behind, they were 21k behind. These 2 kills just swung the game by 6k gold. 7k gold now. It was a 21, right? Now it's 14, I'm pretty sure.
There's something up there, yeah.
Look at the expectancy graph just from that. It's just 2 kills.
You know, I still don't know what the hotkey is for that, and I'm not going to...
F8.
Nope, doesn't work for me, Syndra. I must have rebound it.
Alt F4.
No, I won't fall for that one again.
Again?
That's an old Counter-Strike beta, or original Half-Life meme, actually.
I remember Alt QQ from... I'll never forget Alt QQ from Warcraft 3.
I don't remember that one
That's the vintage one from me.
Huh. I don't remember that at all. All right, we're going to see the lasso onto Fata. And Abyssal Blade used again. It's a decent
they really don't want to let
him
cast Overgrowth.
Yeah. He's going to buy back into the game.
Buyback?
But they get the free tier 2, and
what
seems like a wasted buyback
here?
Seem to be falling apart just a little bit.
Yeah, crumbling a little bit here. This could still get exciting. I have kind of written VP off at this point almost, but, you know, the game isn't over until it's over. So
well, the way that you describe their comeback, the way they come back in the game, I mean, there's always the ability to just capitalize on mistakes of the enemy, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're seeing right now.
Always. And another Minotaur Horn found, this time by the VP side. So
Look at this Io's inventory. He has a Minotaur Horn just for safekeeping, a Witless Shaco now, and obviously the Essence Ring. This is... I mean, can you pick better items for Io this game? Neutral-wise? That's insane. That's really good. I mean, he has 3,300 HP now.
His items are very good this game, for sure.
And this is a Holy Locket, by the way. I don't know if I've seen this in this patch at all.
This
Obviously
is kind
makes
of the
sense on this
only hero in this patch that I would consider it on. Because you really want to keep your wand anyway. Io ideally never wants to replace it unless he's like 5 or 6 slotted. So it's just a nice upgrade for Io to get in particular. Maybe that's why Io is so good. If a hero can use Holy Locket, it's broken, right? So
that's a good point. Oh, you can see the smoke here from Alliance. See if they're able to catch anybody off guard. The stomp to Sheep Epileptic, I should say, into the Doom. Gets the Omni ult, but he will not live through the day. 100 seconds on the deck. Does have a buyback available. Resolution. A ton of homing missiles applying to him. Call down coming now. There's the buyback onto Slark. We're seeing the Doom again use it. That was the second Doom used? Does he have actually a refresher? Oh, he does have a refresher. Okay. Very nicely done from him. And Epileptic finally uses that ult, but really to no avail. And now Alliance starting to run over VP in their own base. And remember, they already have a Raxier top, so they have to go to another lane or perhaps just go for Roche.
Yeah. This was very nicely played by 33. He got the 2 perfect Dooms off. He got the one on Slark, and then he got the one on the Mag. And I'm surprised Epileptic Kid didn't get Shadow Dance off on the first Doom. He had the Lincoln's proc, and then maybe they just stacked the stuns so nicely that... Or stacked the spell so nicely that the Dark Pact didn't buy him enough time. I didn't see it completely in detail, but
I mean,
either way, whether
nice
that was a mistake or a big play, it's
nice as a Doom to rely on your teammates to proc the Lincolns. Not having to buy a Halberd is kind of big. Because now you have a full refresher with Shivas. Oh, we have an Aghanim Scepter actually being available. It's going to be picked up by the Windrunner. See how that comes into play. Lasso onto the Doom. Bringing it up to the high ground. RP onto 2 heroes. Skewer up the high ground. A little bit miscommunication again with the Slark, but damage has been done. Treant Protector is donezo. Save. Looks like he'll be the trade. A 1-for-1. He's going to buy back into the game immediately. Has no Lasso to speak of course.
That's a good
Limp taking a little bit of a Lich ult. And the homing missile is going to connect on no one, who will buy back into the game. BKB popped by Nico as he's being chased by the Slark now, who has 19 charges right now on Essence Shift. Lincoln's is proc. There's the jump in from the Doom again into the Shivas. He has absolutely no ultimate to work with, though, so this is still a potentially good fight for VP if they can actually salvage this. Solo will finally go down to the triple kill to Nico. And now it looks like VP is on the defensive. But I feel like they can still go back in if they really want to.
This fight is playable. Slark has 21 stacks. But yeah, you invested a lot into this. You bought back your mid hero, you bought back your 4. Wait, how many did you buy back? Was it 4 heroes? You bought back 4 heroes, actually. The only guy who didn't buy back there was Omni Knight. Which means Rezo will be able to afford Lincolns. This seems like will be his item of choice. By the way, sporting the 0 deaths on Omni this game.
0, 0,
kind of
and
funny
10.
to see.
Goodness.
Yeah, he just isn't dying.
Hey, he's got 10 out of the
Second
15
Lincolns
kills.
would be nice. He was hovering in Ags earlier, but I think they've identified that Doom is the biggest problem. Doom or Shackle Shot. So being able to perhaps block both of those for Slark now could help.
Doom, by the way, is going towards an Aghanim Scepter. I absolutely love this item on him, by the way. The break doesn't really do... no, it doesn't really do anything this game, I don't think. But the extra stun on Infernal Blade is going to be pretty big. Skewer does miss. Nico Baby using the Aghanim Scepter to full effect. But Fortification is popped, and this is actually backdoor protected for now as well, but it doesn't really matter when...
iOS 25.
Yeah, Nico's doing a shit ton. Oh, he is 25, so... He's going to get extra
so
attacks
you'll
off
see
now.
Balls everywhere. As if there wasn't enough already.
Good, clean stuff.
As if this hero isn't literally balls already.
Yeah.
Give him some more balls.
Can you please stop saying balls? This is a PG stream.
Okay.
Have you seen...
Sorry?
I talked to Kezu about this as well. Do you like Aghanims on Doom? Just generally, not... I mean, you can talk about this game as well, I guess.
I think yes, but probably in this kind of slot. I think you buy it this late.
Yeah.
You get a lot of other items first, and then it's a super late game luxury. It's
I
also
agree.
it should be kind of nice with Refresher, just because even 2 Infernal Blades actually is a very strong stun, right? So
Yeah, the stun is, I think it's about 2 seconds, I want to say.
it's 1.75.
Okay.
I want to say.
Yeah,
but,
1.75. Pretty strong.
Yeah, it is 1.7.
In terms of passives, is there anything? I guess Omni's degen aura will be broken. I don't know how Slurk... I mean, I guess Essence Shift, that is... It's not that big of a deal because you're probably dooming him anyway, but it could come into effect potentially. We shall see if it makes a difference. Of course, Doom now sporting that... We saw it in the last fight, the Refresher Orb, so we'll have 2 to work with. And VP with very little in the way of buybacks. Oh, there's the skewer onto the gyro. This could be a good way to get into this game. There's the overgrowth to follow, though. No one looking for the RP. Not able to find anything, though. Slark is continuing to right-click the Handskin Io, who pops that Essence Ring. And now the pressure is being applied on the Virtus.pro as they are scurrying back to their fountain. Doom applied to the Magnus. And now the racks will fall very swiftly.
No one RP'd himself, Shannon.
Oh, I didn't even think he actually pulled it off. Well, he didn't technically, but I didn't even think he cast it. I thought he canceled it. Wow, that is that's game losing right there. Although they were losing anyway. So, and now the tier 4 towers look to be falling very shortly. Lich is going to get stunned up into the double stomp from 33, who pops that refresher into another Doom on Magnus. He's like, you screwed up your RP once. I'm not going to let you screw another one up for you. I'm going to help you out here. Doom you back into the fountain, and this throne looks to be super dead. As Alliance will go on to win game 1. Very well played. Very impressive from Alliance.
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing about how they played the game was how they positioned relative to each other in team fights. It's easier said than done. And they did a very good job at being able to play around each other, but still not setting up for great RPs or too strong chain frosts. And playing around Omni Knight very well, too. It never felt like the GA really mattered. They had some solutions in the way of magic damage, and outside of that, just sustaining through it, right? When there's Omni ult, you can just stay alive. Just run away, lol.
I just realized Resolution did die at the end. That was his first
death
he did
die.
The game.
He died in the end.
Wow. I mean, that's pretty normal in the death department for Resolution. I'm just not used to seeing with 0 kills. Of course, I'm still used to him being the position 1 after all these years, but... Wow, Havoc Hammer was actually in the backpack of Batrider, so we didn't even get to see that used. It has a cool new animation and everything, Cinder, or spell effect, I should say.
Wow.
I know, it's very
But then
impressive.
it's still a Havoc Hammer.
True. It's not that bad. It's okay.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's
good
right.
for strength heroes, of course, but...
Well, nicely played from Alliance. My 2 cents in the next game, I think we won't see Io again, and I think... VP might adjust from this game to the next one by getting more reliable catch, because this team is a team that has generally been really good at fighting around stuns, and perhaps there's a little bit too much on no one's shoulders in this game to make it work. Like, he had so much responsibility. The Batrider's game was too slow to really start fights the way they wanted, and then you have Rezo on Omni Knight, and you have a Lich as your 5. There's not much in the way of catch, so perhaps they're going to tweak that a little bit. Let's see.
Yeah. Only one way to find out, Cinder, and that's by waiting a few minutes for the next game to begin. Game 2, we'll be back soon, guys. Alliance versus Virtus.pro.